Hi, my name is Jesse, and this is the story of how I got over my social anxiety. When I was younger, there were two things that I could not get enough of: chocolate cake and World of Warcraft. I would only stop playing to eat and to jack off. Now, this is what I looked like at around 17 years old. Can you see the sadness in my eyes? I hated life and I tried to escape it through video games and a lot of food. I almost never smiled. Here my mom is trying to push my mouth into some sort of grin, but it's not happening. I would walk around life with this overwhelming feeling of constant anxiety, kind of like that feeling you get right before a roller coaster is about to drop. Except that it never actually drops, but there's this weird pit in your stomach and you're just waiting for something really, really bad to happen. Going to the grocery store was a huge ordeal for me because I would get anxiety from doing the simplest of things, like just talking to the cashier. When someone would ask me what time it was, I would freeze up and my mind would go blank, even though someone was just simply asking me the damn time. A lot of people experience this, and if you don't, then consider yourself very lucky. And I'm talking about social anxiety. I suffered from it for most of my life. I was constantly in this mental prison, and I always wondered how other people could so freely do things like make friends and talk to strangers. It baffled me. Everything in my life was going well, except for the fact that I couldn't even enjoy it because of the horribleness of social anxiety. Life sucked for absolutely no logical reason. When I was 17, my doctor officially diagnosed me with having social anxiety disorder. The first thing he did was put me on medication. I was on Paxil and Ativan. I thought I was on my way to being cured when something really weird happened. I took the medication for about a week and then started to feel numb and weirdly empty. No longer like a person. I didn't feel anxious or calm or sad or happy. I just felt numb. And I knew this wasn't how a person should be feeling. So I got off the medication immediately and realized I needed to find another solution. Now, what I'm about to say is just my personal experience, and I'm no doctor, but I cured my social anxiety completely. How did I do this? Well, you know that feeling you get when every single fiber in your body is telling you not to do something, even though you know you should? Your hands start sweating, your heart starts beating faster and faster and louder until you can't even hear yourself think. And the only form of relief would be to leave the situation immediately. So instead of leaving like I always did, I used my anxiety as a trigger to push myself out of my comfort zone. For example, if I was at a grocery store and my anxiety would act up, I would make it a point to start a conversation with someone that worked there right away. Eventually, I would force myself to strike up conversations with random strangers, and what happened after I would push myself to do this was simply amazing. I would leave the conversation or interaction feeling completely exhilarated. It was a feeling of euphoria. I realized that if I just forced myself to do what I didn't want to do, I ended up feeling amazing. Regardless if they liked me or not, I felt on top of the world. It might not even make sense at first or seem relevant on the surface, but it provided me with a mindset that it's okay to talk to people, and that my fears of social situations were complete and utter bullshit. So here's what happens. At first, you'll feel anxiety. That's completely normal. But after a while, that feeling of euphoria that I talked about will be more powerful than any feelings of anxiety. For me, forcing myself and pushing myself to talk to anybody and get out of my comfort zone was my answer. My social anxiety was crippling me before, and when I figured out this little trick, my life completely changed. The problem for most people is that the feeling of anxiety is just too unpleasant, so instead they don't push themselves out of their comfort zone. This is you inside your comfort zone. You need to get out of your comfort zone in order to grow as a person. But initially, it won't be easy and it's going to just plain suck. I'm not gonna lie to you. But once you get past this pain period, it gets so much better. The things that once gave you anxiety will instead make you feel really good. I really believe that getting out there and just talking to people has saved my life. When I look back at how I used to act and feel, I'm amazed. It seems utterly ridiculous that I felt anxious about the things that I have since conquered. And one of those things that I would always do was just avoid people. Let's say I was walking to class and I knew that on the way to that class I would run into someone I knew. I would then purposely take the long way around just to avoid that interaction. It was pathetic. It wasn't healthy behavior. I've grown so much as a person since I've started actively challenging myself. Now, you might not even have social anxiety, but everyone has things that are challenging for them. The same principles apply. Set goals for yourself and push yourself out of your comfort zone. Stagnating in comfort is one of the worst things a person can do. I know you have excuses as to why you can't do this. I've been there. I've had more excuses than you can possibly imagine. But at some point, life just sucks way too much and there's nothing left to do except doing something. You don't have to be the best and you don't have to do it perfectly. Just do something. Even if it's as simple as saying hi to the person next to you or holding eye contact for a little longer. Just get into the habit of leaving your comfort zone. I promise your life will change.